Okay, my dysfunctional CIA family, part 23. So I made a list this time. Got a lot of stuff. Something I should correct. Okay, the ready thing and the marathon thing. That wouldn't be. There's some other thing that's not just MI6 versus CIA. There's the feds and all the police state, even though they go with all the CIA shit, or it wraps up, or you can't tell one thing, when they're done, they just come in. But, and that shit's been going on. So I don't think that is. Okay, I'll tell you why. Let me see how I get started. Okay, so, alright. Let me see. Okay, so, as I might have said, let's start with this. Okay, so that guy, Willie, okay, so he's the one who was sort of the homeless guy, boyfriend of that lady I said, Native American. And she was really beautiful, except for her teeth were messed up in the front, and she'd be out on the street. And one time she was behind the library once with these homeless guys. And Willie would just take off and go around. And Willie's the one who, later, he'd say she dumped him, and he's alcoholic and he's about to die. Remember? And I said, but it was like Tai Chi when he walked step backward. Okay? And that wouldn't happen, right? So what it is, he's a narc. He's like the thing all the way. Then it makes sense, and it's that level of shit. Now, when was that? It might have been 2002, 4, that was coming down. So he was closing up, right? So he did all the streets, did all behind the library, Copley. Because he just appears, him and her, they appeared at one point. God, when was it? Late 90s or something. And they're homeless and cool, and then they let that girl, that means they worked her, get her from her place, and just have her be alcoholic. And he's skipping out, man, because he's always doesn't look as bad. And he's doing, what's that thing, The Mechanic, right? You know that movie, The Mechanic. Some motherfucker. And then if you ever see him, you think, oh shit, how can you not know? But it's that extreme, and he's really kind of cool. Alright? And he had his hospital bracelet, and he's doing his skinniness thing, and he's like the mechanic. He's when I went with him, kind of was watching him one night, make sure he didn't fall down in the cold and die or something. He's supposed to have the liver going. So at the end he's it's all fake, man. So, and he's going to that Shattuck shelter. He probably actually does go there from Forest Hills. And he's going down he's going to be okay, then he finally disappears. He passed away or something like that. And he's, and then while he's going down, he could be up in anything. They're going to put methadone mile. They're going to do everything. And you'd never suspect him. And he seems harmless. And he could still defend himself or whatever the hell it has to be. And then he's going to drop. So it's like that. There you go. And he's doing the mechanic. God, I bet it fucking is. And let that girl, that stuff happen to her. Damn, man. And he's talking about, my heart's broken. She broke my heart. He goes around like that. I still hung up on her. Man, no way. Okay, because what happened shit. Yeah, nobody at the time, as it probably was. Sanat Kumar had called the police on him and said, when he's at the temple. It's not, and said to get, have him taken away, or he's like being trespassed, so he has to leave. And now when I think about it, it's all like, oh my God, man, it's all like kind of weird, fake. And that would be Dominar behind it. Working's not. Dominar thinking he's running something. That part that runs him thinking they can run that shit. Right? So that's the piggy pig. That's the fucking feds. That's the fuckers that are like are all up in Gainesville. They don't even know how bad they are. And the whole thing, you know what I mean? When I said they, Setsrup played the feds. You know, the real CIS just watch this stuff. Most garbage. Right? Because, so Dominar was thinking he's getting, you know, blackmail Sanat, work him, push him to do that, get that guy out. Because Sanat was saying, Willie stole his bicycle, $1,500 bike or $500 bike or whatever it was, one time, and it's bitching. And it's some fake, and it's weird for Sanat to be there and being no one else there, and like he's the guy in charge. And all to make a show, and all to make a thing, and just tell, oh, what happened to him? Oh, what's the worst record? Oh, he got trespassed there once. Oh, there was a person that existed like that once upon a time. It's just some bullshit probably like that. You know. And so, because I was wondering how that fucking works. That'd be the Dominar shit. You know, guys know, and it's not. He just like doing it. Dominar is getting played, really. All these fucking feds are getting played. So it's like that. Okay, so the cop that came to get him, that came to get Willie, is this horrible fucking, that one that's like, seems like he's on Thorazine. This horrible, like, tall, like, Thorazine cop that's just all drugged up and works multiple shifts and he's retarded. This giant guy. That's why he's being shit with me, and he pulls him and stuff. And it's all fake. Alright? And then so that, I think it was before that. So it was when it was Randy Wilharm. Like say that's gotta be a name. Wilharm. Randy Wilharm. So I don't know, from the Cranberry Bog. So you're talking about the fucking Cranberry Bog. Where the hell does this go? Like he works the Cranberries, supposedly. But he had been doing death threats and stuff online at my forum. You know, really bad stuff. I reported it to the FBI and they just ignored it. I went up there. They were just like, just mocking me and stuff. I went up to that FBI office that's across from Government Center. They had a couple of Russian hookers in there or whatever. Maybe it was just a show and just went and talked to them. They didn't give a fuck. I also went to the C11 police station and they just ignored it. Like I went there first and then I went to the FBI. So Randy had done those threats and then it posted from the library and the IP address is there and I ran in just to get in there and everyone's like all helping me. But that's all fucking set up. Okay, that's for that cop stuff. And that's way before the marathon bombings. So that's all the fucking shit. They fucking know all the shit. And that's back in the time around right after Setsrup had his website with all his weird drawings and stuff. And then someone put some of my stuff on there, hacking Setsrup's website to put my drawings on. And it's really Setsrup himself did it. Him and those guys, they love my stuff. They put it on there. So that's that. That's why I know that. But I had this forum. And so there should be that police report. It's probably disappeared that, or they fucked it off. And the FBI thing, I put it in with all the fucking murder picture that he threatened me with. He kind of said he did. You know, I talked to him on the phone. Talked to him in person once after. And he's like, what? You know, he's like being nice. Because first they were saying he's not in Boston, and he was in Boston. And so finally, I went to the FBI and everything, and nothing happened. And then Tapati, this person that was on my forum, and then she ended up making her own forum, Go Dia Repercussions afterwards. But she's probably some fake things, probably some fake MI6 thing, or whatever the hell, or God knows what with it. Everyone else, fucking all the weird Roddenhoff, Swami, weird, God knows what. But maybe a fake person. Everyone's fucking fake. But she had gotten the death threats, and that's fucking on my forum too. I had to fucking deal with it. So they ignored me and wouldn't do anything. And then so she got a Boston police detective to call me. So he called me, and I hadn't answered, or maybe it was like, no, maybe right after. But it was like, so I was out on Newbury Street. Thing that made me not really want to do it, in which they're setting up, is I was just walking on Newbury Street, minding my own damn business. I don't film anything. I don't do anything. And this like homeless type lady came running out of some store across the way on Newbury Street. And this white guy was chasing her and started screaming at her and saying, "I'll put you on the ground," and stuff, screaming. He's supposed to be some cop or something. He's a white guy. And I'll put you on the ground, all kinds of shit. It was really weird. And then she went and she walked down Newbury Street, and he's like screaming or cussing at her. And so I followed from a distance and didn't intervene. When I finally get up, and we go up around, and we go to that racket club or something, and we go down and around and then back up. Maybe on that last street before Mass Ave and circled. And she goes in there, and I'm just like kind of around. I don't even intervene. And then those cops show up, and they like fuck with me and make me search my bag, and they're all threatening me, saying shit. And I did a internal affairs complaint with that, which they might have disappeared, but that was that same Thorazine cop, okay? And I think this happened. I think it's happened before Willie thing. Okay, so they did that, and that's right. Maybe like Tapati or whatever, real or fake person got the detective to call me about the Randy stuff. Maybe after that or something. But it's right in that same week or something like that. So I didn't end up doing it. Calling him back or anything. And so I went and filed a internal affairs, and it's a really cool black cop, and he showed me mugshot looking shots of all the cops. And making a big joke out of it. And like it's cool. And just a bunch of bullshit. Ooh, we have two pets. We have two pets. We have two pets. Oh. So that's at these motherfuckers. And see if that's in there. So that's all set up. And they're all fucking around. They get the shit on my forum. And just get weird records in that Willie guy. So that's what that fucking was. And so that should be around 2002 or so. Something like that, right? With something in there. Fuck me. And that's how that would have worked. That's how that would have worked. That would have been dumb. They're pushing them to do that, right? And then they're getting played. Feds are like garbage. That's the garbage feds that fucking rape kids and murder kids and shit. Probably. Because they probably did the Reddies. Like there's this whole other garbage thing. Because, yeah, where's my glasses? Because, back to the 90s again, they traded Boston for the Soviet Union. And then the other Reddies, like, all get killed in their sleep and shit by the angry dad, and that's some kind of high-level shit, but then he goes out west and gets killed in a shootout with the police, fake ass. And that's kind of weird. That's probably like multiple moving parts and shit, so these shitheads. And, the marathon thing too. And, damn, man. Let me see. There's a lot more on that too. Yeah, when my ankle, I had a broken ankle, and then that other thing had happened. All the nurses were fucking hated me at Beth Israel. It's like they fucking knew. That's the thing, they're like rat boyfriends, like fucking told them what, like, and they were fucking pissed. They're all fucking, I hadn't done anything. I was like fucking just all the way fucked up. I couldn't even function, like the pain and all the stuff, but they were just doing hate because it was the thing. That's why. And, oh yeah, my last video I said wishful thinking. I meant magical thinking. Magical thinking. So So yeah, Randy from the Cranberry Bog, like that's got to be some. Yeah, so he ended up living at going to staying at the temple for a little bit after that, after all those threats. And I went upstairs and I told Domador, and he didn't care, and he started cussing at me, using cuss words. It's weird. I never had heard anything like that before. And he said, "You like it when I do that to you, don't you?" It was weird. He's being really sick. And then I said, like, why are you doing that? He said, because you hacked. Well, oh yeah, I said, well, it's really bad, threatening to murder people and stuff, and it's dangerous. So Randy, he said, well, because he was going to let Randy live there for a while. And he says, well, you do bad things. And I said, like what? And he said, you hacked Sassroof's website. Pictures. I said, no, I didn't. Someone else did that. And I was like fucking trying to help them and stuff. Because they were like acting like they're hacking my thing too and doing little script things. And I would pass that on. Then he got weird, like he didn't, like I think it meant he knew that I hadn't, and it, like somehow the way I said it, and it took him by surprise. Or something, he kind of got weird and he just shut up. But anyway, then I went downstairs and I talked to the big guy from Puerto Rico, the weird, and that's the CIA, like hire they bring in. He might not have known Premanunda's the thing, or maybe he doesn't. Does or doesn't. It is the big guy. Remember how he hated Scooter? He called them half of 666 because their address is 333 something. So now you know. And the big guy and the other guy, they're just like, I don't care about Randy. They're just like kind of mocking. Because like, I realize now, it'll be like I don't know anything about anything. I'm stupid about everything. So everything's like a joke. Anything about anything. I'm just way off of anything. Later, the other guy, the junior guy, said I was right about Randy, and Randy sucks, and all that. And they were like, he's trying to make it up to me and saying, yeah, that's good. But Randy, they've been threatening me, and he had threatened me. And stuff. I don't want to just get into it. And I had put that, it's all fucking online too. Alright, so. Yeah. It's funny, Premanunda did a whole fetus thing, remember? My fetus. That's from fucking me. That's from my writing and stuff, I think. Yeah, Newbury Street. So that's what that is. That was like some real street thing. And that'll go with whoever. Like, that's the murder over in Cambridge of that homeless girl, whatever, by a homeless man and woman. They fucking did that. They don't care. And the other shit, and that girl that got murdered down where the railroad tracks connect on the Charles River. That girl from Harvard Square and her friends from Harvard Square, they let all the scumbags in, and they killed her there. And they fucking don't care. They let that thing go. And, Andy. I remember Andy back in the very, very early 90s. Andy was there before, maybe like, 80, very early 90s in Copley Square. And he had been in Vietnam. And he had fragged something like 7 lieutenants. I don't think it's just 5. It was like a shitload. He was like a major thing. So I hadn't said that before. So he was a thing. They used to have the real stuff there. And he's a real guy too. The guy said he had been hit and laid in rice paddy for 3 days, and his spine was messed up. And Quasimodo. That's Krishnaloka's name on the street. I don't even think I got it in the newspaper. It's like, so Quasimodo, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's what the homeless guys would call him. Oh yeah, so more of that window thing. So okay, so you know how I said, like, Tom comes over to the place and he says about the ready. Well, the TV just comes on with ready thing. Okay, the killing and Prayman and Sadhusangananda's on TV and all this shit. And so I'm thinking he's got a wire. They just record anyway. They got telephoto lens over across the way, and with my TV. Okay, up and around that, or after that, there's two tells, okay? And one of them is just so, like intuitive, like you, but it's just worth saying because it's my intuition. You just like kind of look at that. Or it's just kind of even though none of the facts seem to like go to that, it's just like with that, I get it in the free association. But one of them is Renee. She's like, is that a character too? She's like, fucking, I want to use my computer or something. She said, hey, I should just use a computer. Because I didn't want to just like have her hang at the house. She's like, using my computer. I'm not doing something else. She said, she can be on the computer, have the, rotating chair pointing over toward me, with her legs or something. Keep her legs apart, like the thing. And I'm sitting over nearest that window, like that. And it's kind of weird, and it was like orchestrated. It was like a thing. I realize that now. It was the only thing like that. And it was, and I'm going to connect all this. It was someone, they set her up, and that would be Dominar running her too. I swear to fucking God. You know that's true once you start to think of it. In the temple, you see her, with her shirt without a bra and stuff. And him like telling people to fuck me up or something, I think. But it'd be like, okay, so that, and that'd be like with the window shit, okay? Then, okay, so once we got an evaluation once for our son with autism, for ABA. So you have DK from Boston Public Schools, for the ABA. And she wrote the report. She said we're a television-oriented family. And so the television's right down there on the floor, same place as when the thing happened. Probably that same stupid spot on the floor, and it's a total lie. And it's a weird fabrication. It's an offensive, kind of weird thing because it's like, we only got it because like the kids were watching cartoons, and it really isn't. I had turned it on once for when she was there, so I could talk to her, so the kids would watch the thing, whatever it is. But it just made me think later, and it's out of place, and it's weird. So that could connect to that somehow, okay? And she'd be in the thing. Because you get the head of ABA, they always act like, oh, B.F. Skinner, there's got to be something. There's something, and nobody covers something. Because her boss, Richard Stalis, is just always gone, just out of the... Whoever heard of where he is, and something. He used to be the thing, he used to be the thing. And then he disappears, like Timothy Leary, I saw him once. And I went to Judge Rotenberg Center, and that's like, the governor was friends with that guy that did that. And they named it after Judge Rotenberg, but I got to visit that thing. They sent me to visit. Oh yeah, they wanted me to see it. That was later, way later. But, okay, it's just maybe, because then you have Mr. Gregory is a therapist and does connect to the neighborhood all the fucking way with the shit and stuff. And something with his windows. And just saying, And that would be all the feds and all the other shit, and God knows. And we're right over the flower shop, right over Linwood Grill, the whole thing. So... And there's a certain kind of intuitive thing. It's a free flow association. It connects. So I'm just saying it like that. Like it's worth saying. Like if I got it that way, if I just, like a Rorschach test, and that's what, like I came to my mind once. I'm just saying it for like that. Okay, so, yeah. Listen, I get this. And George Floyd. Everyone knows George Floyd. What happened? DC helicopter and the two in Austin. Oh man, that's why I started going in the street. Because I don't know. Austin, man, they were looking out for me out there. Shit. Yeah, I guess I'd do, okay, so down in Big W, Homestead, Florida, the guy, his name was Poncho. And my other friend was Grasshopper. And now I think back, they were like 36 and 38 or something like that. And Poncho had been to Vietnam and had killed women and children. He said, you can't put up with anything
from anyone. Like, because after you do that, he'd also been to Germany. He spoke German and stuff, I think. And they all had their alcohol and stuff. And that was the thing. They were running the thing there. And, God, that's what got me so I don't get fucked up on the street, though. I can do the alcohol, but I don't do the other shit. Don't get AIDS. They're always worried about AIDS. That was 1986. I think AIDS, like, it comes from, like, Haiti. That is some kind of thing, CIA or whatever the hell, or MI6 was a thing. And it's the headquarters, and they're probably even like, they'll make it up. We're going to make it up to you. We're going to make it up. It is, because that's where the thing is. That's why it's so strong, man. That's why the street's so strong, because I wonder where there's a base. As you see, these guys think it's white. It's not white, man. And then intellectually, too. Like that, Obama coming from, brother from another planet. But you got, see, like Mr. Gregory's, like, the black bourgeoisie, he's like, his people had escaped to Canada. And he does all that stuff, and God knows what. And it's not a joke, man. Alex Jones talks about, like, whoever got this guy that says Underground Railroad, that's because it's underground up in the Finger Lakes, if that's true or not, but probably all kinds of stuff like that. And everything. And they know their shit, and then they know how to deal with all the Canada stuff, MI6. Oh yeah, the original CIA, like John Brown in the Boston money, Bleeding Kansas. That's the beginning. Bleeding Kansas. Shit, for real. And I like Baldwin. We did that already. George Floyd. DC helicopter dumped in Pancho. The Broward Sheriff and the Curtin guy. Yeah, so yeah, that video I made. 90 miles to Havana. We're going. God, we go up to Broward County, up to whatever that. Oh, Fort Lauderdale, to go to that airport to get a flight back to Boston. Back in 2018. January 2018. We're going to fly back up. It's cheaper. So we stay a night. We were supposed to stay in a place, and we get there. And the guy was on meth. He's actually on meth. He's this bitchy gay guy, and he's like bitchy. I call him the curtain guy, because he seems like he'd be doing curtains and stuff, and it'd be just right. He seems like he'd be cool, usually. And he's on stress. It's like this Florida thing. And he just dogged me, and told us we can't stay there. It just took a hating to me. My wife went kind of crazy with it. And she goes, like, doesn't. Like, it doesn't work out right. I don't think they're necessarily still trying to do it that way. And then the next day, we get to the airport, and Broward County Sheriff was just running Bubba's with her thing, and that's a little bit before the thing that happened, the school thing. And so I was supposed to get that footage of the sheriffs, like, taking their dogs and being fat Bubbas and being disgusting there. And I didn't film it. And then I'm sure of it, so they know, there's a thing that knows the shit. It knows what's going on. It is, man. Okay. Yeah, back to the trannies. You got Indian, I used to call him Indian Joe, the guy down in Homestead. His name was Joe, or say his name was Joe. Blonde hair, blue eyes, but Native American. He grew up on the reservation, and that's for real, because he's just, that's how he was. And he was mostly deaf. And he had spent a lot of time in federal prison. And he put the bees in all the federal prisons. He's the father of all the bees. Like the Birdman of Alcatraz. Like, and he'd always say that so people know who I'm talking about. And so one time, I had been out of town for a couple of days. I stayed up on the canal. I didn't come into town, into Homestead. Or maybe just skip one day. And they said he had, Indian Joe, he said he had gotten a dress. He'd worn a dress. And maybe his dick was hanging out or something like that. Like, I'd never heard of anything like that. And he's like embarrassing everyone. And having a dress. Like, they're saying that. So that's another thing. For all the issues. Yeah, and then back to God, man, back to Rhea. There's something, that girl, the transitional girl. God, back in my 2004 video, she comes up and she's like just upset. She doesn't like any of these motherfuckers. She was always saying they're all Scientology and they're garbage, and she knew the shit. And she gets run. She's like, she might as well be CIA or something. Like they're just like me, but she didn't know. And because I'd seen people up and around. She's like the antidote. She was always damn, man. Yeah. Yeah, because one time she was talking to, yeah. And that's how I learned how to see this shit. Yeah. And Valerie Plame is some dirty shit. My wife was like the same class as Valerie Plame, or a year after or before, maybe 1 year before, or maybe after. I guess went off at Penn State, and then sent my wife. Like she doesn't get her degree. It's like two general studies classes she has to do and doesn't do it, and this ends up coming up. This just fucks around, ends up coming up to Boston, working at Harvard as laboratory medical school and all that, and just being kind of displaced, and that's fucking on purpose. They work that shit, all the shit. Okay, there's Frank and Veronica, man. Frank and Veronica. And that's some MI6 from the police and stuff. That's what Frank, he's like, God, Veronica looks like a man too. Like man, it's back in the 90s. Frank's the one who's, he said he's Trotskyist. Trotsky writes really well. And he'd have all the Trotsky books, but he's that fake, man. He's got all Trotsky, he's got to believe in it. And he's like some kind of cop. It's like, he's like with a thing. Now I know. Because like when it was time, finally, when the Antifa came, or like right before they were supposed to go beat up some right wing, he'd be like, oh yeah, I went and beat up someone. And he'd never be like that before, because he was such a nice guy and cool. I mean, he could box and everything, but it wouldn't be like, he'd do that, but it was just automatic, because he's being run by the thing. And, but the thing, he'd come to the temple, and he said he was saying a story like he stayed the night, and then he had to go check Prabhupada, the Morsi, and see if like everything's there. And he said he took his hand and they caught him in something, and then he ended up talking to Keishi Hana and said, this is his story, like he said, no, that's not the way to do it, so it's really, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. And it's so weird, and he'd say that. And I think that's all a fake lie, man. But he'd be with his girlfriend kind of thing, Veronica. And then one time, and I'd be like fucking, I'd have a problem, like I did that stuff, that over-the-counter medicine, DXM, and I could fucking hallucinate, on the cough medicine. And so they'd fucking know, whoever, they know I'd be dissociating, and that's like I could see the fucking stuff, and I never did any street drugs or anything. And so one time, now I'm not gonna say who it is, but the one guy had to say, hey, someone told, said, Frank, you're like making out, kissing on the front steps, and you're in trouble, like that's bad. Like people saw you. And I went and told him, the dude, the temple guy, I said, it's weird, but there's someone else that looks exactly like fucking Frank and Veronica. I know it doesn't make any sense, and like I don't say like yes, and I'm like about basically like probably so kind of spaced out, whatever. Like I should be hallucinating. And then the dude fucking believed me and just stopped talking to him, like walked away, and he didn't get on him anymore. It's like he fucking knew someone was running fucking double on those people. And doing it in front of me when I'm all kind of being weird. Just like they run that double of Jerry. So that's that. And that's what that was. And because it's weird, like there's no way, you'd have to, it's impossible to have a double unless it's all in a way on purpose. And it's insane. It's like you're fucking gotta be Okay. Yeah. I'm going to talk about the stuff down here. Oh yeah, Boston's Finest thing. You know, the guy that committed suicide. That's probably... That might not be murder, because they would just fucking work him. They'd probably fuck his head up, right? Be like, you're just around these chicks and you need to... You know, they could do that. They could fucking do that, probably. Work it, right? I'm thinking, but... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, when we were down here, so my wife's mom, we brought her down here. She's 93 years old. My wife went up to get her up in Boston, and her mom had lived in that apartment for, I don't know if it's 30 years or something like that, the whole time. That's where all the stuff is, right over the flower shop. And then we had lived next door there, and so she has all her grandkids there. Her husband was there and passed away, and so she's all used to the house, and so she can function like that. And she had never needed to, you know, it wasn't right to send her to a nursing home, and so it had gone like that. And so when we brought her down here, she just could not function around getting to the bathroom, anything. And it was kind of bad up there too, but so it's kind of like we're stuck. Like we brought her to the hospital, and she hadn't drank water for 2 damn days or something, a day and a half. Hadn't eaten water, eat food for days, and they were just gonna let her die. They're gonna, like, 6.5 hours or something. They weren't letting her in, and this is at Lee Health, whatever, the big thing down in Fort Myers. And they said, you know, like after 4 hours, these people that were there, they had fake people there. Like, and some of them had pulled their hospital bracelets off and said, hey, this place is no good. And it's too hot here. I'm going to have to move. It's too hot, too. And I got to go back to Georgia. It's too hot here. They did that shit. It's in August. And so they're going to kill her. And then, okay, but there's a real triage nurse. And that's what kind of threw me off, because that's a real legitimate triage nurse. And she's doing that shit. And it was really, you could listen to her. Like, but it's the death. You're not supposed to be killing people. And they'd fucking lie about it. But that was the real shit. I'm just going to say that. Oh, yeah, when I went to Miami, it's a while back to talk to someone out in Biscayne or whatever, I guess, right? You look out over the bay, and then out there is, like, the fucking Miami Beach, like way out across the water, but in Biscayne. And we go there, and there's a parking spot ready for the cars pulling right out ahead of us. And there's this homeless guy, like, fake, to attend, and all of them running their shit, and I just parked there so my wife can go talk at a meeting. And then they got Day of the Jackal. I realized what it is later. It's like, I didn't know what it was. Pinwheel wheels in all the fucking apartment balconies, all up around. You could look all around and see pinwheels. Right? And that's the modern Day of the Jackal, the remake. So isn't that cool? Actually, it might be in my video, but that was kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that guy in the video, 90 miles to Havana, he's like my wife's kind of like uncle. They're adopted family. They're best friends after they got out of Cuba. And I don't know his real name. I mean, he's got a name. We always call him Scarface, because like in those pictures, he looks like Geppetto, but he's like, we call him Scarface. He was so cool. He'd drink coffee and stuff. He was badass, and he'd always be complaining about Castro, and he's the one who taught me the stuff and everything. And you guys know about the dog tags and stuff, and all that. What happened, and all this stuff. So I don't know. Like, nobody knows. Everyone knows. Like I said, Lucas, they don't. What do you know? I don't know anything. You know anything? They know me, though. That's how we are. That's how everyone. It looks nice there pictures too. Oh, Rosemary's Baby. Okay, my mom's name is Rosemary. There's a chance I am Rosemary's Baby. It depends on how important, like, because that's not common. Rosemary's Baby, and it's like a little bit after I was born. And like, and just in case it goes more, like there's something, you know, like with our mom and the stuff. Like I'd be like, that's Rosemary's Baby. They fucking did that. Okay, because let me, that's played by, oh, what's her fucking name? Woody Allen's. Yeah, I was gonna say Diane Keaton, but you know who it is, like the crazy lady, the haunted lady, okay, Mia Farrow. That's all. Once I say it, Woody Allen and her, that's all a setup. See, they got in on the thing early. That's all, right? Isn't it? It's all a thing, and then all by design. And somehow he ends his career and he goes off, but I think it is, man. I think there's some hard playing because he's from the fucking thing, Under the Roller Coaster. That's where Jeffrey Epstein comes from. So Norman Finkelstein's there, up in everything, lots of shit. And there's some kind of play, you know. And he'd be going to Jeffrey Epstein's house when Woody Allen would, when Prince Andrew's there. When Andrew's doing a fake out, you know, and you have State Department police from Hillary's State Department there. And so you guys got played, right? So that's the shit. And once I say it, you should know too. These fuckers got played, man. Okay. Yeah, the guy that's helped me out, I guess, okay, say Greg. Greg was looking out for me when I first came to Boston. He had shaved his legs too, and he's like some kind of CIA, right? I think he's one who I think knew Roy Cohn. He looked just like Prabhupada. Like, he's got to be that. Like, he's got to be related. Like, he looked just like Prabhupada. Like a young Prabhupada. Who the hell looks like that? And everyone would act like he's just a random guy. And he's from the Upper East Side, his mom. Like he says, or whatever the hell and stuff. And isn't he? Oh yeah, okay, so a kid got hit by a car in front of the temple once. Like, I didn't see it, but I was right there in the aftermath. And then they were being dangerous with it later. So I don't know. I mean, that's real. And the kid got hit by a car in my neighborhood too, so you know. I don't know. God, maybe they would, man. You fake shit. I guess that's it. I went through this list. The cat's gone. Where'd the cat go?